Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Friday, August 9th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with financial news from WWE. TKO Group yesterday reported its earnings for the second quarter of 2024, showing a quarterly revenue record of $815.2 million, an increase of 179% from the previous quarter. Net income from the quarter was $150.7 million. In more WWE corporate news, the company earlier this week released Vice President of Talent Relations Kristen Altman, according to Mike Johnson. Altman had been the Vice President of Talent Relations since 2022 and had been with the company since 2007. No other details on the release are yet known. In ratings news, AEW Dynamite brought in 622,000 viewers to TBS on Wednesday night, according to WrestleNomics. That's up from last week's audience of 609,000. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a .19, also slightly up from last week's demo rating of .18. TNA Wrestling presented Impact last night on Access TV, featuring matches taped August 2nd at the Florida State Fairgrounds in Tampa. In the main event, Rhino, PCO, and Zaya Brookside defeated Khan, Madman Fulton, and Steph DeLander. TNA General Manager Santino Marella had called out Matt Cardona to face PCO, but Cardona claimed he was not medically cleared. TNA World Champion Nick Nemeth confronted Josh Alexander during an in-ring promo, hitting him with a microphone and a super kick and declaring that he would defend his title on next week's show. Jordan Grace's defense of the Knockouts World title against Rosemary went to a no contest when Ash by Elegance attacked both participants with a kendo stick. In qualifying matches for the Ultimate X match at Emergence, Zachary Wentz beat Casey Navarro and Dante Chen, and Speedball Mike Bailey beat Trent Seven and Jake Something. Also on the show, Joe Hendry beat Wolfgang, and Kushida defeated Jonathan Gresham by submission. Ring of Honor streamed last night on Honor Club, featuring matches taped July 28th at the Esports Stadium in Arlington, Texas. In the main event, Dustin Rhodes teamed with Sammy Guevara to defeat the Dark Order. The Undisputed Kingdom defended the ROH World Tag Team title, turning back the challenge of the Infantry. In other selected results, Tomohiro Ishii defeated Tony Nese, and Johnny TV topped Fuego del Sol. And finally, turning to Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling presented Night 13 of the G1 Climax tournament last night in Yokohama. In Block A matches, Shingo Takagi, Zack Sabre Jr., Jake Lee, Great Khan, and Tetsuya Naito were all victorious. Sabre Jr. leads Block A with 12 points. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.